What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the FloGrappling Show, a.k.a. the worst show on the internet. As always, I'm Trey Robinson. We mixed it up. We got Big Uncle Reed over here on the right, and then old Joey Gilps over here on the left. But today we're going to be talking a little Euros, previewing some IBJJF European Championship. That's coming up next. And just talking about some general news going on in the grappling world. Joe, I know you're kind of pumping out this grappling bulletin each week. What were like the main headlines from this weekend and everything?
Definitely a lot going on. The year's finally starting to kick up, I feel like. You got Lovato wrestling NAIA at the National Duels live on Flow Wrestling. That was awesome. You got the IBJJF Grand Prix, adding a couple more people. Marlon from Atos got his black belt. Tristan Sains got his black belt. That was pretty cool. So a lot going on this weekend, man. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys feeling?
I didn't realize. I didn't see Tristan Sains got his black belt.
Tristan got his black belt. Yeah, they did a little.
Wow, so that's two black belts in the fam.
Yep, a lot of people been
probably more than that too.
True.
You put some respect on Papa Signs here. Come on now.
Two
we think
young
Papa Signs
black
is a blue belt, just leading this team to victory.
Papa Signs is born a black belt. Probably.
I would assume there's probably minimum 15 black belts in the Signs family. You know, because I just assume this family just goes on, and then like you find out like, oh, this is Uncle Stevie, he's a black belt. This is my wife, she's a black belt. This is my wife's brother, he's a black belt. Like probably like at least 15. But
that is definitely like a cool moment, though. You know, to see a guy wrap the black belt around his own son. You know what I mean? There's always like a little, you know, there's that great extra added coolness factor of it. Congratulations to Tristan, obviously a beast. Like I mentioned, Lovato made his college wrestling debut, 42 years old, definition of a martial artist. Guy just continues to look for new challenges, keeps finding them. Faced the number one heavyweight for NAIA in his very first match and won 8-5 off a late takedown. It's 5-5. It was all knotted up. No doubt in my mind that Lovato was going to pull it out. Picked up the win there. It was absolutely super impressive. Had 3 matches on the day. Lovato, what a beast.
This is like so badass.
It's
like,
crazy.
It's like people aren't putting enough respect on Lovato's name, like how badass this is. This dude just out here, just an entire life, just been dedicated to grappling martial arts. And here he's 42 years old. And he's wrestling 19-year-olds out there, you know, who are like incredibly new next-gen wrestlers and stuff. And I watched that first match that he had too.
Was that the one we had like a late takedown to win it?
Yeah, right at the very end. It was what, like 5-5?
5-5, yeah.
5-5 or something like that. And then hit like a slick like
it's like a throwback kind of.
Yeah, kind of like a drag type thing where, you know, but clean takedown, you know. And then he was like kind of like, you know, using his back control skills to in the referee's position, you know, like he was like throwing the legs in when they call it in wrestling, you know, like. So, you know, he was just using his jiu-jitsu stuff, but what a funny experience it must be for like a 19-year-old who's just like, you know, going to their jiu-jitsu, going to a wrestling competition and they have to wrestle 42-year-old world champion, like one of like the greatest American grapplers of all time, and then you just have to wrestle him.
And he just has the history of grappling etched into his face. Like, that's so nuts to think about. To be honest, like, yeah, it's obviously really cool and like it's wild that Lovato's doing this. Like, shout out him. I can't get over just thinking about Lovato like being in a college classroom. Like I don't know all
What's
of the
major?
rules.
That's what I want.
No, the rules are different these days. Like
100%.
you don't even have to go to college. Like I don't know.
Current situation with college athletics, you know, not to dive too far into that, but that is like, it is a mess right now, dude.
This is unsustainable.
This is literally just the pros. Like, it's just unregulated professional sports at this point. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. But
Rafael needs to get on a football team.
100%.
He needs to be like a tight end.
I was going to say he would be a beast of a tight end. Or maybe like a stand-up D end. I don't know how he's
he would be
off the edge.
Yeah, true, for sure.
Big old stand-up D end. Those big old mitts just clubbing dudes, you know? Just coming off this swim move off the edge. But yeah, I don't know. I hope Lovato has to take classes. I hope the college rules aren't too relaxed because I just love the thought of him.
Introduction to biology.
Yeah, like him just sitting there in English Comp 1, you know, just like surrounded by like 18-year-olds. And then it's Lovato. Like, I assume he looks like Billy Madison. Like, all the desks are probably like way too small.
With the entire history of grappling just
etched into his face. Dude, that would be so epic. I don't know why this college has like too small of desks, you know, but they just do for some reason. But that's That would be absolutely epic. I want to go do a day in the life of him going through his college courses and stuff, meeting with his advisor. His advisor's like asking him what his interests are and stuff.
What are your plans?
Awesome. Yeah.
This is he's got kids. He's got the gym. It is. Rafael is like a legit Superman type of dude. He's out there. He's another one of these guys in jiu-jitsu who lives the lifestyle he says he lives.
100%.
There's a lot of stuff going on in jiu-jitsu and whatnot, but like Rafael is authentic as they come. He lives it. He loves it. He's in there wrestling, grappling, MMA. Doesn't matter. Like, we could all strive to be like Rafael Lovato Jr.
100%. We need to make sure that we're appreciating a guy like Rafael right now, because we're not going to see too many of him in our lifetimes while we're watching professional jiu-jitsu and enjoying this sport. You're not going to see a lot of guys like this. They don't come around very often. Might not see another one like this, to be perfectly honest. Guy is just that much about accepting whatever challenge. Super impressive. Nothing but good lucks and good jobs to Rafael.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we'll ever see a guy like Lovato again, because I think the culture of jiu-jitsu and martial arts maybe has changed, where guys like that aren't necessarily like
he's seen it all
coming through, and
we'll
being
see.
that
There's
sort of hardcore.
There's a few samurai out there.
Yeah,
here and there. We'll see.
I don't know. I think we might have seen the last samurai in jiu-jitsu. Just kidding.
Samurai.
Yeah, maybe.
Absolute Grand Prix has added a few more people, including not to move along, but to move along. A few more people, including Diego Pato. Boom, up on the screen. Pedro Mourinho and Devontae Johnson all got added. I feel like the initial run was kind of like land of the big dudes and all that. Victor Hugo, Nick Hartman, guys like that.
Big guys, yeah.
And now here comes Diego Pato in for light feather at Euros. Also going to be throwing down here. Pato, what a gangster.
And so we're still waiting for one more.
One more person has to be
announced.
Yeah.
Has to be announced, maybe tomorrow or something like that. Yeah. But
are you guys into the all massive dudes in a bracket and one featherweight? Be honest.
I want 8 guys who I think might win.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we just put in some smaller guys who we all kind of understand, okay, hopefully he can win a match, but him winning all of the matches is going to be really, really difficult. I don't necessarily need that guy in there. So, if, just for the sake of it's an absolute and we're going to mix around the weights. So, yeah, I feel like everybody that they have put into this bracket, I can make the case that they can absolutely win any match that they're in. And they can win this bracket. And that goes for Diego Pato.
Even Pato.
You think Pato can go out leg lock everybody into...
Yeah, and IBJJF has, the rule system that I think, does favor somebody who's really, really good at passing guard. So I think that Diego is so proven under that rule set that that's going to help out a lot more than an ADCC rule set, which is so wrestling heavy. You got to come back up to your feet. It's a little different. I do think Diego has a chance to win this. What do you think?
You asking me?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's fun to be freaking David versus Goliath, small guy versus the big guys. But I think ADCC 2024's absolute division kind of ruined that a little bit for me, where we came out and we saw Diogo and Diego Pato both entered, and they fought Declan and Kynan first round
and got submitted.
And both those matches were just kind of why are we doing this? And then it was just kind of awkward. Both the big guys won, and then it made me realize there's probably a bunch of 88 dudes or 77 dudes even who maybe should have gotten a shot in that bracket. So I still like the small guy in the big bracket.
It's this is jiu-jitsu though at the same time, right? And anything can happen, and this is kind of
for sure
an ideal that I think jiu-jitsu is built on a little bit. That
anything can happen, but it's also never happened.
What's never happened?
A 66 guy winning the absolute.
Yeah, but we've definitely seen some pretty sick upsets
for
and
sure
stuff, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Fabricio versus
Lachlan Giles.
Trey hates the absolute. Now we get to the root of it.
I don't hate the absolute. I'm just a little on the fence of the one small guy in an absolute bracket.
Yeah,
if there were more small guys, you would be into it?
It seems to be yeah, maybe. But it's just it seems to be a trend now where it's there's always a token small guy in a really big guy bracket. Even BJ starts with Fabricio Andre, and Fabricio did win a match.
It's just there's kind of 3 or 4 little guys that are just kind of
they're
just
the ones who are always in.
Yeah.
It's because it is always the same kind of featherweights. And I'm not critiquing IBJJF's Grand Prix bracket. I think this is one of the best Grand Prix brackets they've ever put together, to be honest.
For sure.
I think it feels to me like that they have slightly changed their approach to like the athletes they invite to some of this bracket with this one. Like, how often do you see multiple people who will be making their black belt debut in an IBJJF invite only bracket? I think that's incredible. I think that makes this like super exciting to kind of see like who these, like how these dudes are gonna like shape, but like how is Pixley gonna do against Victor Hugo now making his black belt debut? So I think that stuff's awesome. I think the bracket's amazing. But you know, just in the overarching jiu-jitsu world, it just feels like we've gotten formulaic when it comes to the absolute kind of bracket and the way there's like there's a token small guy. Even like WNO's bracket, I feel like we like intentionally tried to avoid that, where it was like, let's keep it absolute in like this range of like, yeah, kind of like,
that's true,
you know. And we had smaller guys like Michael Sains, Dante Leon were the smallest guys. We had really big guys like Declan, but you know, there wasn't kind of like all ultra heavies and then one feather, you know. So I don't know. That's just I've just been thinking about that recently, and it's just
I hear
like,
what you're saying.
I will say I do think that people, because whenever you talk about like an absolute run, you know, you'll talk about Marcelo Garcia or Lachlan Giles, right? Those are like the two guys that people really talk about.
77.
They were both 77s. I feel like people forget that like, well, they weren't 66s.
Yeah.
They weren't able to make light feather.
That's kind of
like
what I mean when I say like anything can happen, but it's just like we just haven't seen it happen. So, you know, I don't know. But I also thought that'd be good talking on the podcast. So everyone at home, you're welcome for a little bit of that good talking on the pod. You know, that's what you tune in for.
I hear what you're saying.
Little good talking.
Yeah.
We got to pay the bills. We got to find some engaging topics on here, boys.
All right, here, let me switch topics real quick.
Okay.
You got a topic?
I was just going to say, you know, there is one spot left. You know, I do hope it is somebody else who is exciting. And like you said, we're seeing multiple young up-and-comers. I would like to see another young up-and-comer and not maybe like one of these more like establishment names come in and make their make themselves known, whether that's, you know, I know IBJJF is keeping it to the black belt. Somebody who's one of those first few years of black belt, still trying to prove themselves and is super hungry, I feel like would be really, really cool in this bracket.
Definitely, yeah. No, like I said, though, I do think this bracket is amazing. Like, I'm super stoked on this bracket. I think every single dude in it is exciting, and I think they didn't just get exciting grapplers. They got, like, interesting, exciting grapplers. Like, having Pixley in there is interesting. Having Nick Hartman in there is interesting to me.
And, like, Pixley's, like, a big, violent grappler, you know, and obviously he's a lot bigger than Pato and stuff, but Pato might have, and Nick Hartman, too, Pato might have 10x more jiu-jitsu matches than Pixley and Nick Hartman. You know, it's like the experience edge that Pato has. You know, so it's like you really find out where these things kind of
like
zero out.
It definitely feels like say it's Pixley Pato first round. Obviously, it feels like immediately when you think about that, like, ooh, Pixley could come out and like freaking throw him around, bully him, you know. But then it's like Pato kind of has 10x the leg lock knowledge as Michael Pixley. So it's like if he enters Pixley's legs, it's like I'm sure Pixley has good leg locks also. He doesn't have Pato level leg locks.
We've seen him lose to leg locks. We've seen Paul Ardila, you know, be able to leg lock him and stuff like that. So like, okay, maybe, you know, it just creates a lot of good question marks.
100%. What was your topic?
Well, I honestly wanted to ask you guys because I've been seeing a lot of this stuff and like, I don't know, the MMA recently and whatnot. Like, are we kind of like seeing like a shift in jiu-jitsu kind of public perception? Like, is jiu-jitsu not cool anymore?
I saw a video over the weekend that like they were going around, I think it was like in the UK or something, and they were asking people like, what's the most useless
I saw this exact same video.
What's the most useless martial art to know in a street fight? And like, and obviously this could be selectively edited in a number of ways, as we're, you know, we're in the biz, we understand. And just everybody said jiu-jitsu, when that has been like proven over time to actually be like a pretty superior martial art in a self-defense situation. And yeah, I think there is something to that. And, you know, I wonder with things like UFC BJJ and it getting put out there in certain ways and, you know,
a lot more.
Yeah, a little bit more saturation.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like you see a lot more of these days. Is Mikey
jumping out there on one leg fucking us up? It's genuinely like, time to ask. I've been trying to think of a nice way to say it.
Beat around the bush here.
I feel like that's an issue. And the poster boy of this big organization is going out there and doing that.
Jumping around on one leg.
I think 100%. Like in this topic alone, that might be the number one thing you have to cite. Like, because it's like, all right,
Mikey, incredible jiu-jitsu. We all love him. A million nice things.
Let's say UFC BJJ's views are real. You know what I mean? Let's say that 10 billion people watched that event or whatever it was, and like they did come out and see UFC. Like if that many people watched it, then there's so many of those that have never watched jiu-jitsu before. Like it would just have to be, you know? And Mikey comes out and hops on one leg, and people are like, "This is what jiu-jitsu is? Like,
this is the best guy?"
This is my intro to jiu-jitsu. This is the first time I've ever watched. They're streaming it on the UFC YouTube channel, you know? So it's like I've watched fights my whole day. I know Kron Gracie. He's good at jiu-jitsu, right? But I'm not a big fan of him because his last fight was super boring.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you had the Kron
Gracie
thing.
where
everybody was kind of hating on Kron Gracie there. And then you just had this Buchecha one where it just didn't go great for Buchecha.
Yeah.
And I feel like, there was a time where where jiu-jitsu was like the coolest kind of like hippest thing you could find. You had
it was
all
like
these
6 months, dude, where jiu-jitsu was.
I mean,
it was like a long time.
Still me, not you guys. No. But I just feel like there was a time where it was just like jiu-jitsu was like really riding this crest of this wave of it just being like hip and cool.
Even among MMA circles, there was a lot more like appreciation for it. Where now I feel like a lot of that has moved over to like Russian styles of grappling, which are still basically just jiu-jitsu, to be perfectly honest. It's not a nationality thing. It's a technical martial art.
Everybody wants to go to Dagestan.
Yeah, everybody's talking about Dagestan, but no, man, jiu-jitsu is still jiu-jitsu, even if a Russian person is doing it. It's an incredible art form. It's very useful. It's very effective. It gets proven effective every single time they put on a UFC card. But yeah, I also feel like jiu-jitsu suffers from not having a big champion be able to go into a major fight organization and do well for
really represent
a while
jiu-jitsu.
now, for quite a while.
Yeah,
The average UFC fan has only been following since after the pandemic. You know what I mean? And so a lot of them have not had a chance to watch a lot of the great jiu-jitsu fighters that we saw earlier in our lives, like a Damian Maia type, who were able to fly the flag for jiu-jitsu. I think that's an issue as well.
Yeah.
I think also jiu-jitsu kind of cannibalizes itself a lot in multiple ways. Like one way being like the whole emphasis on, jiu-jitsu being gay by jiu-jitsu people. Like we really push that hard,
Craig's more visible than ever. He's definitely kind of one of the most, if we're talking about Mikey, we got to talk about Craig as well.
Also turns off a lot of people in his own way, to be perfectly honest.
Craig has done incredible things for jiu-jitsu. Craig also sometimes has like a little bit of maybe a nihilistic view of jiu-jitsu and kind of like, I feel like speaks about it in that way, like about like, oh, look at how gay what we're doing is and this and so it's kind of like, I could see why like my friend Will Hinman, who's like an MMA guy, only follows Craig Jones and will sometimes randomly be like, what's Craig mean by this? And it'll be a thing of Craig like calling jiu-jitsu gay, and I'm like, all right, well, Will Hinman's never going to do jiu-jitsu because that's like his view of it is Kron Gracie kind of pulling guard in an MMA fight recently and then stuff like that. But then the other side of it is now athletes can find like true success. What are you giggling about over
Just
here?
like, man, I'm going to have to see reels from this, or like somebody going to pick up on this. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Nobody quote any of this, all right? Let's all agree. If you're watching this right now,
be cool,
especially if you have a website or anything like that, this is just between us. This is not for quoting. This is not for publishing anywhere else. This is just between us. Us and the 1.5 to 3.5 thousand people that might watch this. No, I'm kidding. But and if you do quote it, add that quote too, and make sure I said I didn't want it quoted. But the other thing I was going to say is like jiu-jitsu athletes now.
This is all off the record.
Yeah, this is all off the record.
Officially.
Jiu-jitsu athletes can find true success just in jiu-jitsu now. So it's like they don't need to go fight in MMA. So it's kind of like it makes it a little different whenever you can just like hone in on the martial art that you actually love and care about the most, and you can make money and livelihood from just doing that. Like, yeah, you don't need to be Damian Maia and go on to have a UFC career. You can just like make money doing jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So then our best representatives don't go over to MMA because they don't really need to, But I think if they still needed to do that, then like there would be a lot better representation of. There would just be more,
That's
but
true. And
Ruotolo's killing it for jiu-jitsu and MMA.
And Mackenzie Dern
True.
as well. We do still have some wonderful examples of people, and even Buchecha and guys like this are still competing at the highest levels, and compete at the highest level is very, very difficult, and we understand that. And we still have a ton of respect for all these people.
I asked Bill this question. I was curious what he would think.
Open Note Grapple.
Yeah, Open Note Grapple, Paragon Black Belt, was one of the owners of East Austin Jiu-Jitsu Parlor.
You just
and
dox
a
him?
friend of the show.
You just dox him?
No.
Oh, that's public.
What do you mean?
Okay, all right.
Open Note?
Yeah.
He says his name is
he
Bill.
changed
Okay,
it. Yeah,
okay.
he changed. I'm pretty sure it's public now. It's like his picture on.
No, I've seen. Yeah, that's fine.
But whatever.
It'd be so funny if people are watching this later and it's all bleeped. Trey's come back and bleeped everybody. No, beep every time.
Yeah. If we did dox you, Bill, I mean, freaking suck it, dude. I don't know. Get doxed. I'm just kidding. Doxing's not
Shouldn't have wrist locked us so much.
For real. I asked him this question, and he said, no, it's still cool. People either think you're cool, badass, or MAGA. And I was like, That's kind of true, actually.
Yeah, I guess that's maybe
like
true.
But then he also said, like, most people still don't even know what it is. And this is like, this is a little bit about Bill. He said, at Burning Man, some of my camp thought I was teaching karate in a strip mall. And at that point, I was like, Bill.
We're too deep.
Yeah, you're telling me about your camp.
Quick, turn the camera on Slack.
Yeah, Slack's dying.
Well, if the guys at Burning Man aren't able to figure out what you're talking about, it must mean that nobody knows about it.
You're telling me the boys at Burning Man think you're teaching karate in a strip mall, dude?
You mean those guys weren't able to really pick up on the concepts that you were telling them for some reason at Burning Man?
They did you dirty, man.
I don't think Bill's going to be mad at me about the open no grappling thing. He might be mad about me talking about Burning Man. But no, I respect Bill's opinion a lot, so that's why I asked him. And he did kind of have just like a general, like, most people still don't even know what it is. So
but I think that's like what I'm talking about a little bit. Like the people who don't know what it is, who now kind of like have just come across the term jiu-jitsu, just associate it with like negativity rather than positivity, more so than not.
Where in the past,
I don't know.
They might not know what it is, but they kind of are like, "Whoa, that's crazy! You're like an MMA fighter." Now it's like, "Oh, I've heard about
You're
that."
You're like a MAGA, like weird dude.
Yeah, true.
Like,
yeah, good point. We might be cooked.
We're cooked.
Yeah.
Right. No, jiu-jitsu's cooler than ever.
That's all I had to talk about.
I think the real lesson is that true validation comes from within.
Good point.
That is a great lesson.
Cyon, you want to join the podcast real quick and talk about jiu-jitsu?
Cyon, did you see that a 42-year-old jiu-jitsu champion made his college wrestling debut? You were there?
Come here. Come talk about it. Come sit over here.
Genuinely, come on. This is Cyon Williams, is a Flow Sports employee for a long time. Cyon, let me get a little. Just totally, okay.
Cyon, you where'd you wrestle at? You wrestled at like Iowa State or something?
I was a bench warmer at Iowa State. Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. And so you're a wrestling expert outside of the CP camp. You kind of run your own expertise. Is how I like to think about it.
Yeah, I've been around for a while.
Been around a long time. Yeah.
I gotta say, my teammate was the best wrestler ever, Cale Sanderson. Probably the greatest coach, Bobby Douglas, was also my coach. So I've been around.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I was on any of those guys' level, but I've been around.
But you were around them.
I was around.
You know enough to talk about then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So now that we've legitimized your credentials, you were there at this NAIA duel with Lovato, the 42-year-old grappler who was making his debut?
Yes, I was there, and actually one of his teammates is my college roommate's nephew.
Okay.
No kidding. There you go.
So they're workout partners.
Nice.
So, Lovato, he actually, for an old man at 42, he did pretty well.
Did pretty good, right? Yeah, okay, let's go.
What did you think about that? Like a 42-year-old jiu-jitsu guy
never
making
wrestled
his
before,
college wrestling debut.
It's about never giving up on a dream, and going out there and giving it all your all, and showing that, as they say, age is just a number.
There you go.
True.
Because he went out there, and he came by the table I was sitting at, and I said to him, man, are you going to go back and ice after this weekend? He goes, I ice every day. Just got to keep doing what you do.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think he's taking college classes too? Is that a required part of being on a college wrestling team now?
Yes.
So you do think he's in some classes?
He's got to take some classes to be on the team. You got to be enrolled in the school.
Wrestling's not football yet, right? Still got to take a couple classes.
With NIL, you never know anymore.
Yeah, true.
It's heading that way. But I think, you see, he's 42 years old. Yeah. I think what you'll see is like a lot of guys get motivated. It's going to motivate some other older people, because most people think after 25 they're done and they can't do it anymore. But, you got a 42-year-old guy going out there and not only just surviving, but thriving and doing well. Yeah. I could see a lot of people like, oh, well, I could do that. I'm going to go back out there. So he's now a motivation for all the other people out there to go out there and try it at 42. I've seen, football players always try to go out there and come back when they're in their 30s and go to something. You see a lot of these D2, D3s, but they never do well.
Yeah. It's tough for them. And then, for Lovato in his first match, he beat the number one ranked NAIA guy. That's incredible.
I feel like Lovato's been motivating jiu-jitsu guys like that for a long time.
Yeah,
like showing that like an old guy can, like, not old, but an older fella can kind of keep being in the mix, beat up some of these young bucks, and now he's showing it on wrestling. If you had to rate Lovato on the hunko meter, how much of a hunk would you say he is after seeing him?
After seeing this, he could win a national title.
All right, let's go. That's high on the hunkometer.
So that's really high.
He could win a national title. He could go out there and do it.
All right, let's go. Any parting wisdom or motivation?
Did you get inspired to do anything personally by watching Lovato go out and do this?
go to the gym and work out.
Let's go.
I'm kind of old and chubby, so he's inspired me. Like, you know what? A 42-year-old man could go out there and wrestle. I could go take my butt to the gym.
We can hit a treadmill for a mile or two, right?
Yes, I could do that.
All right.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Cyon Williams, everybody.
All right. Thank you. You
we
guys have a
appreciate
great day.
Cyon, thank you so much, man.
Cyon, you're younger than Rafael?
I'm older than you.
You're
A
older.
little
than
older, right? If you're teammates with Kale, then there's a little...
Hey, whoa! Don't trip on your way out, Cyon.
All good, all good. Thank you so much.
All right, sick. That was
That was a good segment.
Yeah, that was a good segment. Cyon didn't really know how the hunkometer worked, huh?
National champion is a great rank for the hunkometer.
Yeah, that's a solid rank.
National champion on the
hunkometer.
Yeah, that's pretty high. I mean,
Yeah, I mean-
I guess he's a hunk, confirmed. But
It's
all right.
above the midpoint. I know that much.
So what else do we need to talk about on this? You guys want to talk about IBJJF European
Yeah,
Championship?
we got a
Absolutely.
big tournament starting this week on Thursday, the 15th. Runs all the way through the 24th. The IBJJF European Championships, one of our favorite tournaments of the year, kind of officially kicks off the gi season, of course, every year. Then we got Pans, Brasileiro, Worlds kind of coming up here in the next 6 months. So things kind of start out there in Lisbon. I'm bummed I actually won't be going this year, but I do love Lisbon, to be honest. It's such a great time of year. And brackets seem to be pretty loaded, pretty stacked. Masters kind of kick things off for the first 5 days, but you got Pato, you got Tynan in there. I saw you got Nolan Stewart in the heavyweight division.
Heavyweight division's crazy this
Yeah,
year.
lacking the Adam Wardzinski. He's kind of retired now, so I hear. But you got Leo Ferreira, Nolan Stewart in that heavyweight division.
Veteraci brothers,
Veteraci
Mateus Rodriguez. I mean, that heavyweight division, is definitely super stacked. A lot of these divisions are super stacked. Euros has so much flavor as its own individual tournament. Kickoff of the gi season, Sarah Galvao is going to be in there trying to start her run towards a rookie black belt super grand slam, which would be absolutely unreal, obviously. You have so many interesting little storylines. You have people switching divisions late. Something that I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on throughout the tournament, once we get to the adults especially, is the way that AOJ moved a couple of their people late to kind of open things up for other people. Maisa cut down to Rooster, not the easiest cut in the world. Pato cut down to Light Feather, not the easiest cut in the world. I think they're making a play at the team title, because they're making room for people like the Finegra sisters and for Cole to make their run at gold. I think they're really trying to maximize as many gold medal opportunities as possible, and I think that they're going to be making a serious run at this European Championship. That's something I'm going to be looking out for here and all year. Last year, AOJ won their very first team title at Pans for adult male, and I think that they're going to be looking to do that again throughout the year.
AOJ's team is like shockingly big whenever you get to these events and stuff, like especially even during color belts and stuff. Like, I mean, I still like they don't have affiliates, right? It's just like the two
gyms.
Two, yeah.
Just the two gyms.
It's the one in Costa Mesa and then
one in Mission
Viejo. Yeah, so it's like, as far as I know, it's like all these people are coming out of two gyms, and it is like on these color belt days, like you're like, oh, let me go see where Guy Mendez is and film, like one of his athletes, and it's like he just has like 10 athletes going at once, and it's like, what the heck's going on?
He's coaching 3 mats and also the 2 people that are coming up next on those mats.
And then it's like Cole's coaching one, Tynan's coaching one, and it's like,
it's
wow.
why every time you've been to AOJ, like the mats are packed,
100%.
right? It's
and
like
they just
there's
have,
a lot of people,
like nonstop back-to-back classes as well. Like it'll be like freaking 2 a.m. is their hardcore, meditation session, and then 3 a.m. I'm just kidding, not that early, but it is like it's like 5 or 6 a.m. and then 7, 8, 9, 10. Then there's a little break where all the kids just get on their iPads and do their schoolwork, and then noon, and then the evening stuff. So it is just kind of like nonstop classes, and they're all packed and everything. So yeah, I don't know. AOJ's got a great thing going.
What happened to Cole last year? It was Cole Kennedy.
He lost to Kennedy.
It was like the semis or
quarters, maybe?
Okay.
And it was, just some late bad pulls from Cole. He got down on that, and then Kennedy was ahead very late. Cole came up, tried to take
Cole
the back.
Came up on the back,
but wasn't able to get the second hook. Crazy enough, that's like basically in reverse how the Kennedy versus Pato match ended. And then, Cole and Kennedy are the top 2 guys in that featherweight bracket. I believe, I think the only way that one loses is to the other. Just based off the names. Obviously, there's like a lot of like tough mid-level guys, but in terms of those upper-level guys, I think it's kind of those 2. They're 1-1 against each other as black belts, with Cole then getting the win back by advantages at the Crown. So now we got the rubber match here at European Championships. I think whoever wins this is setting the momentum and setting the table to have success all year round.
Yeah, I just think honestly, Cole's a good person to talk about right now because I think it's going to be a big year for Cole here. You know, I think he has kind of righted a lot of those kind of little mistakes that he was making kind of earlier in his black belt career. I feel like more recently he's definitely kind of like had a lot of this success. But it's 2026 now, and he's kind of like established as a black belt, and I think this would be a big year for him. Also an ADCC year, of course. And then there was a time where we were banging the drum of Cole being the youngest ADCC kind of champion potentially, and he of course went out there and 2022 and had the match with Fabricio, a very close match with Fabricio. It didn't go his way, but I wonder if is Cole going to jump back in the ADCC kind of saddle? We'll see him at trials and things like that, or is he all in on Worlds and trying to get his black belt Worlds kind of
first
one
World Championship
under his belt? But I think a lot of interesting kind of decisions for Cole in 2026, and I'm interested to kind of see how all that plays out.
You guys want to do some betting? I just thought of a sick jiu-jitsu gambling idea.
Okay.
I would like to hear the idea before I commit to anything, to be perfectly honest with you.
Fair enough. We should bet on athletes over under the amount of IBJJF majors they win this year. So like Cole Abate, I would say like 2.5 or something, Like can Cole win over
or
under
maybe like
2.5
number of
majors?
wins they get this year.
No,
I
just think it makes it an easy line because it's like there's 4 IBJJF majors. Cole is like this, like Reed said, this could be a huge year for him, but it's still very hard to win.
The line on Tynan's 3.5.
3.5. Got to be 3.5. Yeah,
fair enough. Okay,
like I would say,
this
like
is kind of fun.
Leo Ferreira line 1.5. Like 100%, I think Leo Ferreira could come out and win Euros, but like it's really hard.
Heavyweight brackets.
It's like really hard to win a major. It's really hard to win 2 of them, and it's. You know what I mean? Just it's like it's not like an even scale on how much harder it gets. It's like when it comes time to win the 4th one, it's like okay, that's incredibly hard. Now.
Eric Muniz over under 7.5.
Literally, Pisania's 7.5.
Yeah. That's kind of a sick way to gamble on jiu-jitsu.
That kind of is. I do like that. That is a good idea.
But we just
talk about it. So let's say for Cole it is like 2.5. For me, my first instinct is to say under. Just because featherweight is such a deep division where people having success year after year is no guarantee. And we see that drilled into us over and over again, no matter how amazing all these guys are. You know what I mean? It only takes one Sodre brother to, knock you out of a bracket. Those are close matches. Mayrim's going to be in these brackets. Fabricio's going to be in these brackets.
It always feels like that featherweight bracket, too, is like in Euros, Pans, like Brasileiros and Worlds. It's just like there's completely different, like murderer's
100%.
row of 4 or 5 featherweights that just didn't do any other tournament in there for whatever reason, but like they did Pans, and like Pans he just had to fight like 5 crazy dudes. That
how many majors did Kennedy win that year where he was going for the Grand Slam? Did he get 3?
3.
And then basically everyone was like. There was like group chats of just like everyone enter featherweight. Like I'm pretty sure.
Right,
I think Tynan was trying to enter featherweight.
Genuinely, yeah.
But like
just
it was like
stop Kennedy.
because they were like, we can't let this dude win a Grand Slam, so they just had everybody entering featherweight. So it's like that kind of shows how hard it is. Where it's like if someone is on that trajectory, but I think I would guess lower also. For Cole on 2.5 line. Like if he wins 3, that's pretty nuts. Like if we see Cole going into Worlds with a potential Grand Slam, that's insane. But it's like he could win Euros and then maybe he chills for a little bit, comes back, wins Worlds, or
sprains his ankle. You know what I mean? Things 100%. Happen. You know what I mean? Trying to project out for pro
it's very
sports
very hard to win multiple. Some of these guys like Eric Muniz and Gabby Pisani just kind of make it look easy, but you forget like just how difficult it truly is to win multiple IBJ. These are the toughest jiu-jitsu tournaments. Of the year in the world, basically. So
what would you guys go with Tynan if we're setting the line at? Do you think 3.5 is a fair line for Tynan?
It is a super fair line.
Sure, it's just like Tynan doesn't lose, so it's like until he loses, really, it's like you kind of got to prove it to me that he's.
He's only won 1 out of the last 3 world championships, though.
Yeah. True.
You know what I mean? So like we can't say he's untouchable when we have seen him touched.
True.
And I think the other thing with Tynan that you're kind of having to like, risk a little bit is like, I don't know, he's going to do all 4 majors.
True.
Is he doing any sort of like, I'm coming for the Grand Slam again or anything like that? Or
I mean, he's already, I feel like just doing Euros is like a good indication usually, I feel like, because that's like kind of like the first one they skip, I feel like.
Well, I think
does he have to win? Did he already get the IBJJF's Grand
No.
Slam? Okay, so
that's what I was about to say.
So he has to win the next 3 to get the IBJJF's recognition of the Grand Slam.
Gotcha.
So I bet he is.
I bet he is
Let's
too.
go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
He wants to get back on top as a Grand Slam champion. The way the IBJJF officially recognizes that is you win the Worlds and then you win the Euros, Pans, and Brasileiros.
Worlds is the start of
year.
the season.
Yeah.
So the 2025 World Champions will have to win these next 3 majors. Then they are officially recognized as a Grand Slam champion. They do that so that by the time we get to the Worlds, they have the awards ready for people to be able to do. So I'm with you. I bet he does do it.
Okay, fair enough. Who's some other people we should put a line on? This is fun.
Sarah Galvão.
Oh,
Sarah Galvão.
That is a good one.
Sarah
Galvão,
Galvão, 1.5.
dude.
I feel
Sarah
like.
Galvão, dude.
1.5?
No, yeah, it's like
1.5, bro?
No, 1.5.
What the world?
Because I'm gonna tell you, her Euros bracket is not the toughest. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
I haven't. Yep.
the toughest girl in there, that is like Zara Di Stefano or Tamara Torres.
I think
1.25.
Yeah, I think worlds no matter what, that's a tough bracket.
That's gonna be
That's gonna be a tough bracket no matter
I
what.
think Sarah gets 2. So if the line's 1.5, I
Brasileiros,
go over.
Brasileiros, that's a tough bracket.
That's gonna be a tough bracket.
I feel you don't think so, or
Brasileiros would be tough.
I feel like Brasileiros is gonna will be a tough bracket.
I feel like
but no BSM probably not Janaína.
Yeah.
Maybe
Brasileiros?
Maybe Janaína.
I think Brasileiros is the one where like you do see people like BSM potentially come out for it.
Not Pans?
I think Pans is a little bit of the down one, but I don't know.
Okay, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But Brasileiros has a little
I don't
bit
know.
of like a gathering of the jiu-jitsu world feel. You
I thought
know,
you were
where
gonna
it's
say
like,
the Juggalo.
Yeah.
That's like
So
a
what
little bit of
you think
gathering of the
one and a
Juggalos
half's a
feel.
steal
I don't know.
on that line? You
It's
taking
like,
the over?
It's tough because
I go over because I do think
this is fun. I'll just say that this was a good idea.
Give Mike Perez
This
a
was
call.
solid.
Yeah. We got to get Mike Perez on the horn.
Mike's
dude.
taking the over.
Yeah, life's too short to bet the under. Mike would say 100%. But the thing with Sarah is, it's like Sarah is so good at jiu-jitsu. She's already proved herself at black belt in the event she has done. She won the crown, so it's kind of like, are we already in a place where it's like, how can you bet against Sarah Galvão? But also, it's like she's so young and still needs so much more experience at black belt that I'm like, you can't fully bet the house on Sarah Galvão. But it's like, it's weird. I don't think there's an athlete who's maybe as like can pull me in both ways as Sarah Galvão when it comes to like bet the house. Don't fully commit everything. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just like, I don't know. I think maybe she could be the best grappler we see in 2026. Like just straight up the best grappler we see at the end of the year. But then I'm also like, but I also don't know because she's very young still. So I don't know. 1.5, I'll go over though, just for fun. Or we can move to 2.5 if you want to.
I'm going over 1.5.
What are you going?
fair.
We're both overs.
Sure, I'll take the under.
The under?
Sure,
So
I'll
1.
take
Which
it.
event do you
I'll
think
take
she
it.
wins?
I was setting that up as like take the over with us. Come in the boat, no problem.
Well, I gotta go against you guys, I guess.
Okay, fair
no,
enough.
I have total faith in in her as well. But I think we'll see if she does them all.
True.
But she's been saying she wants to Super Grand Slam.
Okay,
So-
what if we throw an ADCC into her line? So we get 4 IBJJF majors and ADCC. And let's go trials.
Smash,
She's gonna have to win trials.
theoretically.
I assumed.
Yeah,
I will say for these people, especially in the female divisions, who are expecting an invite, that's really tough, right?
Yeah, I just don't think it's coming.
we've taled about before. There's
Not a lot.
It's not
8
coming.
spots, 4 trials winners, 4 returning placers. So you're basically betting that
Banking
somebody
on somebody
is
getting hurt.
or not wanting to come back, and that's super on the table. Maybe like from this last one, Bia Mosquita is like, I'm all in on MMA. I want to do it. My 65 spot, put it out there, and then it likely would be Sarah, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's Liz Clay.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you give it to Liz Clay, right? So there's a lot of considerations that have to be made here.
I don't know.
Easiest way is to go win those 2.
I was going to say, I don't know what ADCC's thinking when it comes to that invite, but hey, Sarah, go win trials.
A lot of competition for it,
I don't
for
know.
sure.
Go win that trials. You can win the trials.
If it's down to her or Liz Clay,
that's
a
tough.
really tough decision. You know what I mean?
For
That's
sure.
a super 50.
Yeah, no,
Especially
definitely the over on the 1.5 is the safe bet for sure. But what? So if you add trials and
So now we
And-
Now
trials
it's
and
2.5.
no, I think
3.5.
Yeah, because like trials, let's assume, is an event she can win.
Yep.
And then Worlds is like, that would be crazy if she wins ADCC Worlds. So 4 majors now plus kind of 2. So
6 with a 2.5 line.
yeah, maybe 3.5.
I feel like the over is pretty safe there on the 2.5 line. But
Well, let's go 3.5 then to make it not as safe.
I bet she wins exactly 3.5 somehow.
She draws.
She closes out Bradley Arrows.
Oh, good point. Shares a medal. That would suck.
Just a push on the fucking
on our made-up gambling thing. All right. Any other European athletes? This is a fun way to preview Euros, honestly.
yeah, I'm excited about the Verderacci brothers there. Kind of was introduced to them last year at Euros, and they had a good year. So
Place went nuts for them.
Yeah,
that
place
was
went
pretty
crazy.
electric.
That was awesome. Hopefully
getting an absolute champion from Euros here, kind of a true absolute champion.
Yeah. Hopefully,
Speaking of the
no
absolute-
double DQs.
Yeah.
No double DQs. Speaking of the absolute, Roosevelt, one of our male grapplers of the year nominees, is in for ultra heavyweight. Really looking forward to him potentially doing the open class and potentially facing off against Eric Muniz. They've faced off before. Eric has typically owned that series, but I feel like we all feel like Roosevelt has really kind of leveled up over the last 8 to 10 months, especially. And now I'm just really excited to see them face off again.
Do you know what their kind of record is, or like?
I think it's 2 wins for Eric.
Two
Off the
and
top
oh?
of my head, 2-0 for Eric, something like that. They faced
Gotcha.
off the Crown, I want to say, 1 year.
Because that is an interesting matchup.
It's a super interesting matchup, but is one of those things where I feel like it was kind of one of those series where Roosevelt stepped in while he was in the middle of no-gi training because he just kind of says yes to every opportunity like that. And I think that this is going to be a great representation of where we're at now. And I think that there's not a lot of matches where I'm going to say it's like a close combative one for Eric Muniz just based off his skill level and size. This is absolutely one, right? This is very high on the list.
For sure.
So I'm looking forward to that because I think both those guys in their divisions is going to be pretty smooth sailing.
You know what? I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at any of the juveniles they're signed up for Euros, just because I always feel like that Euros is a fun one to watch, the juveniles too. We saw last year a lot of John Anderson, but of course we saw Ty versus Mika hit back in the day at Euros, juvenile blue belt and stuff. So I feel like this juvenile blue belt divisions at Euros are always pretty fun. It brings new competitors from the European scene and stuff. You get to see a lot of those guys who do really well on like the California IBJJF circuit have some different matches with some different people and stuff, like John Anderson, etc. But I don't know.
Definitely, there's a couple guys we can name just real quick. I'll name 2 guys. I think I saw Zane Chaudray in there, juvenile 1 blue belt. He won all the majors last year. Super impressive. JP Tran, our reigning prospect of the month from AOJ. Super sick jiu-jitsu. He's going to be in those brackets, juvenile 2. Super excited to see him throw down as well.
JP Tran is who I was going to say. I'm watching every JP Tran match this year. All right, that's my New Year's resolution.
That's a sick New Year's resolution.
Yeah, I got a few of them.
I'm watching every single JP match.
Straight up, I am watching every single JP Tran match this year. When we announced the Juvenile of the Year nominees, everyone was saying we snubbed JP Tran. They were saying we didn't give him. He should have been nominated.
Even the winner himself, I think.
Yeah, they were giving
straight up.
There was a lot of woody woos going around about JP Tran, and so this year I am not making that mistake again. I'm watching every single match of JP Tran this year. I'm not kidding. I'm legitimately going to watch every single one. So JP Tran, if you're watching this, just know that I'm watching you this year, okay? And then, that doesn't mean anything. That has no real value when it comes down to it.
But I promise we will watch every single JP Tran match. I promise, though,
I'm legitimately watching every single one of your matches this year, JP Tran, because I want to see how you do. I want to see what I was missing out. I wasn't hip enough in 2025 to your game, and I want to be. I was watching John Anderson. I thought John Anderson was sick. I was watching Icaro. I was watching JM220, but I missed it. I missed JP Tran, and that's on me, and I got to own up to that, so I will be watching every single match for JP Tran this year, so I'm excited to kick that off at the European Championship.
A lot of good juveniles out there these days.
A lot of good juveniles.
I'll see if I can find time to watch them, but I'm mainly focused on JP Tran. I don't want to overpromise.
If you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you check out the Prospect of the Month series that we've been doing for FloGrappling the last few months. JP was on that list. We've had a couple really exciting young up-and-comers. I feel like this is the most exciting time in jiu-jitsu history in terms of people who are coming up, people who are just on the verge of breaking out. And we're going to have a new one this week as well. And so that will be very exciting.
Who is it?
Not saying yet.
Oh, man.
A little preview. You have to wait and see.
Oh, you got to be quicker than that.
Can I name a matchup that I'm really excited to see at 2 matchups I'm really excited to see
Nah.
here, and we can kind of.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Let's start with this one. Jalen Financier won Worlds, won Pans, had an awesome end to his year, ranked #1, taking on Shea Montague, who just won Nogi Worlds. This, in terms of Rooster, is one of the kind of like premier matchups. I can't remember the last time, honestly, where I was kind of this excited for two young black belt Rooster weights to face off. Both these guys have had success at every belt level, including black belt now. This is going to be awesome.
Jalen's, he's the one, right, who said he's trying to become a first ever Roosterweight Grand Slam. There's never been a Roosterweight Grand Slam recipient? That's wild.
It's a tough one.
There have been people like Bad Boy who won all of the tournaments but did not do it in the same calendar year.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That'd be sick.
Another guy I'm excited to kind of see this time at Euros is our boy from Tokyo, Japan, Shoya Isagura.
Yeah.
Ishiguro. There you go.
Shoya obviously had a kind of a breakout performance at Euros last year. He had a great final with Diogo Hayes. I remember Tommy kind of called us out a little bit.
Oh, dude, I know one thing. If Shoya's in the finals this year and we get biased commentary from FloGrappling people, I'm gonna thump them upside the head myself, dude. I won't stand for it.
I'll send Tommy
in
away.
Real time,
No. I'm not saying if Tommy's. I'm saying if the commentators are being biased against my boy Shoya again. I'm with you guys. I'm with you. Everyone who is mad, I'm on your side. I swear.
Just make sure I'm going to be on the ground there. Make sure you let me know. I'll run over to the commentary booth, grab one of the headsets, and make sure to say some really nice Shoya stuff before I get dragged off. Shoya's actually really good at Jiu-Jitsu. Bye, bye, boy.
Yeah, we're not standing for it.
I mean, we get to hang out with Shoya in Japan and get a glimpse into his training camp, into his kind of like mindset and his kind of goals for the 2026 and stuff like that. So I think, if I know Shoya, he's putting a lot of emphasis on this European Championships, and this is going to really kick off a big year for Shoya, who's been kind of trying to break out into that kind of upper echelon of elite competitors for a couple of years now, and he's kind of right at the cusp there. So I think this is definitely an important tournament for him.
I think Shoya, very inspirational guy. Whenever he talks about like why he's doing this, to be honest, like we kind of it's in the Japan vlog we did with him, but we were just kind of like walking and talking through some Japanese markets and stuff, and like we would ask him obviously like what it would mean to him to become a world champion and stuff like that, kind of the same stuff you ask most athletes, and like Shoya his answers weren't like, oh, I just want to be a world champion because it's my dream to be a world champion.
I really want to.
Yeah, it's like every time he talked about it, he would say like, oh, I want to win worlds to prove to like the next generation of Japanese athletes that like you can be a jiu-jitsu world champion and be Japanese, It was always like every answer for him was about like a very selfless kind of take on like, I'm trying to prove that a kid who's like their parents don't want them to do jiu-jitsu, I'm trying to prove to them that it's like, no, you can do this. Like, here's proof that like a Japanese guy can win and become a world champion, and like kind of prove that for the next generation. So I don't know. I think it's like, it makes it very fun to cheer for Shoya.
Very kind of like it's bigger than him kind of mentality.
Yeah, it's like when you kind of like when you hear him talk about that, it's kind of like, how can you not root for Shoya,
Also, in the heavyweight division will be Fat Ninja. His countryman, who's going to be representing that heavyweight division. Really is so good, man. From the
staunchly different body types from those boys.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but like you said, Shoya Light Feather was kind of one of the guys who really broke out last year in the gi IBJJF season. Had a great year. He's in a really tough bracket. Pato's in that bracket. Anderson Duarte's in that bracket. Gustavo Ogawa's on the cover.
But those are the guys that Shoya knows that he's going to fight too. He's getting prepared to fight those
100%,
guys. So
I'm super excited to watch him.
Should be a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, there we go. I feel like that was a pretty good preview, huh?
Also, I just want to shout out one more exciting division people should watch: a lightweight. Mateo Cardona making his IBJJF major debut. Jackson Nagai, Pedro Maya, Lucas Portazio. A bunch of tough guys, exciting guys who throw it all out there.
Jackson Nagai Hatchwell Jr.?
The very same.
Okay, cool.
And so Cole is down at featherweight. So you got Pato at light featherweight, Cole at featherweight,
yeah,
and Mateo
at
light,
Tynan at middle. Yeah.
Crazy.
Mateus Rodriguez.
Is he in a medium heavy?
No, he's at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Do they have a medium heavy?
I don't know, but I think they have that Francisco Papasadero guy at at ultra heavy. Yeah, they're just
really loading the brackets.
Really loading the brackets up. I think next year they get Felipe Andrew back. I know Jonas Gracie is due back sometime here soon enough.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you start thinking about just like the representation of every.
I think is, always.
And they got tons of these juveniles and purple belts and stuff. So
JP Tran.
Oh,
exactly.
We got to figure out a light feather for the women. Ashley and Mia are going to face off, and we're finally going to
see which is the better.
Well, I'm really
settle the age-old debate.
Yeah, who's better, Ashley or Mia Funegra?
What if they're the two best all year and
for the
have
next
to
10
face
years.
off in the World Finals? Because the IBJJF has rules. I assume at Euros, if they make the finals, they'll close out. Fair enough. And that's true all the way up until Worlds. But we get to Worlds, the IBJJF says if you close out in the World Finals, you don't get paid and you don't get your ranking.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an issue, especially for AOJs trying to win team titles.
Yeah, right. Because I think their team points then don't count as well, right? So
that's a problem. So are they going to go out there and fight?
But they're in the same division at Euros?
Yeah, light feather.
Okay.
So do they compete different divisions ever?
No, I've only ever seen them both at light feather. I think they were both at Rooster for a while. But I've, every once in a while at like color belt, they would one of them would bump up to feather, and they would both win it. For the most part, they've always just closed out.
Sounds like a bit of a pickle.
Yep.
They're going to have to figure it out.
Good luck solving that one. Guy Mendez and the Funegra girls. Maybe you just give Natalie her black belt. Let her.
Yeah, straight up.
But all right, there's a little bit of a preview for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I guess we'll be. When does Euros actually kick off?
15th. Thursday.
15th, and it runs through what?
24th.
24th,
which is Saturday.
All right, so
this is the longest tournament of FloGrappling all year, I believe.
Yeah, beast of an event. So make sure you guys are tuned in watching that. And then after that, pretty soon we're going to have Polaris 35 going down January 31st, I believe.
80cc trials coming up. So.
Yeah. So a lot of sick, jiu-jitsu, a lot of cool European jiu-jitsu going to be on FloGrappling soon. But
can I mention that? Let's just put this on wax.
Okay.
Polaris picked the W&O team. I feel like I just want that kind of mentioned, kind of put out there.
We've talked about that extensively.
Okay, yeah. Did we bring that up already? Let's bring it up one more time.
One of the episodes with me, I think it was just me and Reed,
gotcha,
where we talked about that. But yeah, no, we'll dive more into that. We'll dive into a little more of what's going on with this Team Polaris versus Team W&O, because I don't know, man. I don't know.
See.
Something's
we'll
afoot. And also I'm hearing rumors through the rumor mill. People are chirping at me. They're saying, Trey, woody woo this, woody woo that. There's some new happenings. And I think there's a weird play about to be announced by Polaris. Something that doesn't make a lot of sense if you ask me, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it plays out.
Hey, but what do we know? We're just content guys.
January 31st is going to be sick. W&O versus Polaris.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be so cool.
Incredible,
Do we got to go in there freaking,
guns blazing?
Yeah, just like.
Empty the clip?
Yeah, just like.
here's my proposal. The day before.
Show how an American shows up.
The day before. We do Team FloGrappling versus Team Polaris staff.
Okay.
Winner gets a couple extra points. You know what I mean? Has an advantage or something.
Some tough boys.
I actually think they probably would have some tough dudes, to be honest. Yeah, like some pretty OG guys. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like,
fair enough.
But yeah, I guess we can try our best though. We can try our best for sure. But we don't. What youth do we have?
You're our young guy, dude.
And I'm old now, dude. I'm thinking I might be over the hill.
You're a young guy, dude.
Yeah. Well.
You gotta hold it down.
We tried our best.
All right, well, we'll see you guys out there at all these events. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching another episode of the FloGrappling Show, and we'll see you guys in the next one.